what a time to celebrate.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Sure.
And what a time to be a Mets fan.
Yeah.
We did it, Bert.
Did you?
What Steve Cohen was brought here to do. Finally
Spend
paying dividends.
almost $1 billion on one player over 15 years.
Listen, scared money don't make money, Bert.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Let's talk about it. Juan Soto signing with the Mets for $760 cajillion for 15 years.
For 15 years, yeah.
Nuts. Shattering the Shohei Ohtani.
Yep.
The major difference, the reason why it's news is that it's not deferred, and it's 15 years.
Yeah, it's also 5 years longer than Shohei's deal too.
It is 5 years longer than Shohei. And honestly, it all came down to the New York Yankees not giving Juan Soto's family a suite. So
I don't believe that for 1 second, and anybody who does is a fucking idiot.
I don't know what to believe because
it came down to money. It's
right.
Nothing else. You think legitimately, he has a World Series ring, and yes, he's competitive, and yes, he has an appetite. I'm not saying he's going to phone it in, but he wanted the biggest contract in MLB. And the reason I don't think it came down to his family being thrown out of his suite, or the story about his chauffeur and his chef also having issues with Yankee security, is because they gave the Yankees the courtesy to give them the best and final deal. After he met with the Mets and Steve Cohen, they gave the Yankees the last rights, essentially. And unfortunately, Hal Steinbrenner said, I don't want to go up an extra $5 million and an extra year or shorter years, because they offered $760, I think, for 16, which of course, on average would drastically change. In retrospect, it looks like he was earning less, like 10 million less per year, because he was stretching it out longer. But it's one of those things where if it was about the family issues or the issues that people are saying he was having with Yankee Stadium, because everybody likes to shit all over the Yankees organization, and I get it, but then they wouldn't have given the Yankees the last chance.
Right.
It honestly just came down to money, plain and simple. And look, he's earned that right to do it. Me as a Yankee fan, does it suck? It does. But you do realize, as a Met fan, in order for this to pay off, you have to win a World Series, I'll say within the next 5 years.
Yes.
However, Shohei just did it in one. So in order for him to match that level, not only are you getting $65 million more, 5 more years, but Shohei Ohtani, who had just signed the biggest deal in MLB history, wasn't even pitching last year, helped his team win a World Series, and that's after giving them a sweetheart deal of deferring all of that money. So I'm going to be generous and say, in order for this to pay off, you have 15 years to win a World Series. But I can rest assured the frustration is going to fucking mount if you don't do it within the next 5. And you better be damn sure you at least make the playoffs in those 5 years as well. Otherwise, it's going to turn ugly.
Yeah, but I want to really focus on the making fun of the Yankees for being out Yankee part.
Yeah, go for it.
What you're saying, I'm
Hang
feeling
the banner. Yes, sign Juan Soto over the New York Yankees. Yes, I'm very proud of you. That's great.
It's baby steps. Okay, this is like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar going to the Clippers. This is like, you know what I mean? This is for Yankees or for Mets fans.
It's not though. He was with us for a year. Like, I don't.
Well, that's the part that should hurt you though. All that for a rental. You did. So you got a pennant out of it. Great. But you didn't give up. And I guess you can look at the pieces. Maybe that one, the guy King or Kling, whatever his name is, may turn out to be a decent pitcher. But it's not like you gave up a bunch of stuff, but you did give up things, not expecting a guy to stay there for a year. Like, the plan was to sign him, right? So, and that plan went awry because Steve Cohen and his big, gigantic nuts came around and said, "You know what? No, this is why I'm here." Now, that being said, this could turn out to be a disaster around year 7. So I do agree with you. And I'm
surprised you're giving it until year 7, my guy. I'll be honest with you.
Well, because, I'm comparing it to Bryce Harper when he signed the 13-year deal. Yeah. And those first couple years, people were like, man, fuck this shit. Like, but they've been pretty damn good since. And he's been really, really excellent. So, switching teams, I don't know what that means in terms for him. He's still in New York. You're moving from the Bronx to Queens. Like, it's not, it's not like he's going from
done that before, honestly.
Right. But he's not going from California to New York, right? He's not going from Minnesota or Minnesota to New York or some other, he's not he's going to be used to the New York pressure. So I expect that 7-year window to really be like a 3 year. I'm going to be fair. I'm not expecting a World Series next year. Even though I know he just did it with the Yankees, but the Yankees or the Mets don't have Aaron Judge and Juan Carlos Stanton and pitching and all this. And that's the problem. Great.
Now you need that, right? Now you need
Oh,
to go and get those players
yeah.
to complement. And that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people say it's about winning. He chose it. And look, I'm not saying the Mets weren't competitive. They were. I mean, they
Yeah.
demolished a Phillies team that was way better than them on paper and brought it to the NLDS, or NLCS, excuse me. So
Mhm.
but for me, it was purely about money.
Yes.
Plain and simple. And look, you as Met fans have the right to brag. You weren't cheap about it. Our owner got cheap about it, and
Yeah.
that was the difference. I'm not mourning over it. I'm not in so much pain. I do think it's absolutely hilarious that y'all are celebrating like this is your World Series, though.
Well, again, it's celebrating because it's who we did it to. It's not that we signed, but like signing a major free agent like that. Give me the last time, you want to say Max Scherzer, I guess, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
um, King and Thorpe will haunt Yankee fan. King, that is the pitcher I'm talking about for
yeah,
years, and maybe we'll see. But
perhaps.
again, you got to the World Series in year one, so is that a fair? Obviously, you would want to win it, but it wasn't like it was a complete waste, right? It wasn't a
Mhm.
dumpster fire, which is obviously what you didn't want to happen. But for the Mets, all that being said, is now go sign a real above average starter. We're the Mets now. Like this is
Oh
signing Juan
yeah, yeah,
Soto puts
yep,
us in the category with the Dodgers and the Yankees.
yeah,
Hey, you're the Mets. Steve Cohen, go get Corbin Burns. In for a penny, give me all the pounds. It doesn't
yeah,
make sense to sign the best free agent hitter we've seen in years, then go cheap on the pitching side. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't
yeah.
even consider bringing Pete Alonso back if that meant that it's an obstacle to go get another high-end starter, because I'm not relying on Kodai Senga like a lot of
Man,
people are.
Steve Cohen, when he first bought the team and all y'all were just taking your dicks out and just losing your mind when that
Yeah.
happened in 2020, because that was fun.
Hmm.
But when that first happened, he came out and said that we're here to build something for the fans. Well, guess what? Exactly what you just said. You don't sign a guy at a 765 mil over 15 years and do nothing else, because that's not fun for fans. It's fun because they can all buy his jersey. It's fun that they can watch him play. But unless you're winning and you're making it to the postseason and you're playing November baseball and you're winning a championship, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And especially knowing that you're paying a guy to just be there, like that's not it, you know?
So I'm not saying it's World Series or bust, but it's World Series or bust. So go get some pitching. Like I said, I would love Pete Alonso back, but again, not like Steve Cohen's hurting for money, but
He'll be
like it.
back. Dude, they're gonna make it happen.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Especially if you listen to Jeff Passan
yeah.
saying that
I
there's
don't
not
think
a.
Pete's entertaining offers from anyone. Like, I honestly
I
think
don't think he is either.
I think he might take a team deal just to stay.
I also think that the reason why you haven't really heard anything is because he was allowing them to not have the pressure of signing him to go get Juan Soto to make.
I That's admirable way to put it, but like, do you really think that the Mets had pressure from him?
No, no, no,
Yeah.
from the fans though, because all the
You think
fans have
there are
been
fans that
doing.
would rather sign Pete Alonso than Juan
No, 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 no,
Soto?
no. Instead of like going after Pete and Soto at the same time,
Yeah.
would have started not a civil war, but there was already fans that are saying, look at what Pete did in the second half, and they galvanized the team and da da da. Like the sentimental pick, right? He's the
I got
sentimental
you.
guy. They
Yeah.
drafted him. Like Pete is probably like, no, well, there's time for that. I know that I want to be a Met. You focus on Soto. We'll worry about me later. Get what you have to get done. And as the days pass, I'm more confident that Pete will be back. I mean, again, the Mets haven't been this good. Like we're going to trade Starling Marte. I think that'll help some of the pitching. Soto will replace him in right field, and that's fine. So like you're upgrading from that if he does somewhere near what he did last year, like defensively and especially hitting wise.
Yeah.
And then so you'll get some pitching from that. Pete will take whatever deal he's going to take. Something maybe I don't know if he'll do the short term big hit in like 2 years, or maybe they'll do like a Max Fried 8-year, $200 million. I don't know what Pete's looking for, to be
I think
honest.
Pete's looking for that max deal,
Is
right?
he?
I mean, a lot can
Oof.
happen in 2 years, and he doesn't want his stock going down. So
Yeah. Mike Hughes says Yankees tripped out on not giving Soto's family a suite. I saw him hit 3 homers in one game in person in Chicago. I'd name my firstborn daughter Juanita Soto if it meant that he signed with the Cubs. That
Ham. Yeah, listen, that's all bullshit. Look, I don't know how many times I have to say this. It is what it is.